Hey, Scribe, Sarah here, and welcome to the Right Podcast. I'm so glad you're here because if you've hit play, that tells me one thing: you're a writer. Maybe you're dreaming about writing your first book. Maybe you're knee deep in chapter 5, or maybe you've got a stack of published novels to your name. Wherever you are on the journey, this is your space. This show was made just for you, my friend. So let's dive in and talk all things writing. I was at a book signing recently and I noticed something. Table after table stacked with stunning special editions, sprayed edges, foiled covers, the works. And here's the thing: people weren't just buying them to read, they were buying them to own, to display, and to photograph. And I realized I do exactly the same thing. In a world where books are now visual artifacts, part of our identities, our aesthetics, our online lives, this shift matters, especially for us indie authors, because it's not just trad publishers leading this trend anymore. So today, I brought on Fiona, aka Amelia Shaw, an indie author who's been ahead of the curve, creating gorgeous special editions that readers can't resist. We're diving into what's working, where to source, and why this is so much more than just a pretty book trend. If you've been eyeing the sprayed edge craze from the sidelines, this episode is your map and maybe your nudge. Let's dive in. Welcome to the show, Fiona, otherwise known as Amelia Shaw. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. All right, so first off, I would love to talk to you. You have no less than 5 different pen names. Like, what are they all for different genres? Or tell us about that.
So, yes, basically they are. Originally I started writing Regency romance when I first started writing and had a pen name for that. And then I found erotic romance and jumped into vampire, menage, historical weirdness, and was recommended to split them. So I basically had one steamy pen name, like I'm still steamy, but more in the box of more traditional publishing style writing. And then I had a pen name for all my sort of erotic stuff. And then I started to write more and more different genres because the more I read and the more people introduced me to things, the more I wanted to write. So I started writing MM and loving that, and then did more menage, but then I started doing BDSM, I started doing more reverse harem, I started doing contemporary romance. I've dabbled in a little bit of paranormal women's fiction because I loved that idea. So, and then I actually started learning about tropes and creating books for actual readers rather than just having this amazing hobby and just writing whatever I wanted to. And so I created a pen name that was more for writing to market books. And then I realized in that pen name, which was my Amelia Shaw pen name, I had books that were both high heat and low heat. So I split that into 2 pen names as well. So along the way, I've just decided to deliberately give specific genres their own pen name. So I split my steamy one, so contemporary romance is Lexi Myers, Regency romance is Fiona Myers, Tamsin Baker is my original erotic one, so I left a lot of my old MM and Menage in there, and if I write any new MM, it goes in there. But then I've got Christy Marquise as my women's fiction, Amelia Shaw, and then Maggie Shaw is my low-heat urban fantasy, paranormal fantasy, closed-door romance in there as well.
Wow, so like nothing is off limits for you. You've got a pen name for all of it.
The only thing I don't write is dark romance because I very much write your palette cleanser, light and fluffy. Like I don't mind a bit of drama, but it has to sort of come from external forces rather than within the romance.
Yeah, absolutely. So how many books have you written?
I don't actually know. I stopped counting at about 150.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow.
But a lot of them are
And how
shorter,
long have
like,
you
yeah.
actually been writing for?
Oh God, it's actually probably 15 years now. Like I've only been writing full time, as in gave up the day job, almost 3 years ago. So the first 12 years was as a hobby and then a bit of an obsession and then a career, and then I could drop the day job and just write full time, which honestly I've written less since becoming full time than I did before. Because we all know you can squeeze so much into an hour when you've only got an hour, whereas if you've got all day, really take your time.
Yep, yep. Definitely guilty of that. So I have known of you for quite some time, and we actually met at a book signing maybe a couple of years ago, last year. And You have quite quickly become my go-to person when it comes to things.
I
And
like that.
one of those particular things is special editions.
I love my special editions.
So I would love to. So why do you think special editions are so popular right now?
It's funny. I actually, most things with writing, I literally fall into. I literally just go, I fall in love with a pre-made cover and I completely switch genres. Like I will create something just because I feel like it. And I feel like special editions are kind of the same thing. I got obsessed with this whole Brandon Sanderson like Kickstarter phenomenon that he created, and it made me look at Kickstarter. And I wrote a book that I didn't immediately release because I am the most impatient person there is. And I thought I could do a Kickstarter with it. And when I was researching Kickstarters, that's where I found all the information about special editions and didn't think much of it, to be honest. Although, of course, I got obsessed with Kickstarter and I've done way too many in a short amount of time. But I went to a signing, my first in about a decade. My friend Kylie, which is Chloe Wren, lives in Adelaide, and she got me to go to the Fiction and Friction one, which was probably only 12 months ago now. And it just blew my mind how in love with special editions readers were. Like I had people walking up to my table and picking up like my Dragon King slipcase, not even the book, and going, I'll have it. And I'm like, you haven't seen the book yet. You don't know what it is. They're like, I don't care. I just want it. So meeting these book dragons and people that buy books as trophies rather than to actually read was this whole new thing to me. And it's made me completely obsessed with special editions now. So I just decided that I was making them because I've got such a large backlist. I can do lots of omnibuses and special editions for full series, which people love as well, is being able to have all the series in one place so they can read them all at once. So, yeah, it's just me
Mm.
being obsessed with pretty things, and I love cover art. I'm a bit of a cover art hoarder, so it's sort of an extension of that because then you get really special cover art and you get all your sprayed edges and all these extra things and character art, and like it's like an extension of being a cover art hoarder basically.
Yeah, yeah. I have definitely seen them at book signings as well. And it has definitely occurred to me that people aren't even reading the back of these books. Like they don't
Yeah.
care what the blurb is. They're potentially not even going to read the book. They just want it because it's a trophy. It's a pretty aesthetically pleasing thing to put on their bookshelf.
I think that comes from the whole TikTok, book talk era of, having your pretty bookcase and having things, even like, what was that Netflix show where people were arranging rooms on rainbow colors, like buying things specifically for their aesthetics. So I honestly believe that half the people that buy my special editions aren't reading them because I've literally had people order all the paperbacks and then the special edition, and I will contact them and email them to let them know they've doubled up. And they just say, yeah, of course, the paperbacks are for reading and the special editions to look at. And they will outright tell me that. So,
I do think I kind of am getting into that as well because I'm an audiobook listener. So
yes.
I will listen to the audios, but I want all the special editions.
Yeah. And it will remind you of the book that you've listened to as well.
About special editions, let's talk how we do it. So I will first show you, this is one of mine, the Brothers of Brigadier Station. So that is a 4-book set. And that one
Yes.
I did the forced edges. So on the
Beautiful.
inside, they're like
Yes.
that. So I
Yes.
published those ones with the Ingram Spark. They've got the dust jacket, they're hard, hardbacks. And
Yeah.
then yesterday, literally, this one arrived.
Oh,
So
look how
this is
pretty
my
that
new
is.
one, which I got
Is that forced?
graphic.
Yeah.
Sprayed edges. Yep, sprayed
Yes.
edges on that one. I did try and do the forced edges. I just couldn't make it work, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I am really happy because it does have the foil on the front for the title, and I just think that makes it. So I'm super happy about that. So
Yes.
forced edges over sprayed edges. The joy.
Yes.
Forced edges. I was talking to Catherine Bilson. Of course, you know Catherine too. And she gave me the details of the person to get the forced edges off. So I got them. And for that book, for the cowboy hats, that one was beautiful. I love it. And I think it really works with the kind of country, the rural feel. But yeah,
It's
when I
very,
tried to do forced edges in pink,
yeah.
sorry.
I was just about to say it's a very economic choice too, because you're actually not paying any more to have it printed.
Yes. So that is definitely the next step was, yeah, the sprayed edges. Obviously, Ingram Spark can't do them, and Amazon can't do them. So where can we go to get sprayed edges printed?
In Australia. Well, I think in the world. Well, calligraphic, as you said, is our Australian basically only choice here. I personally haven't worked with them, although I have heard great things about them. And I saw some books at Rare a couple of weeks ago from a friend had through calligraphic, and they were amazing. So I will definitely be contacting them. I personally have worked a lot with Book Vault, which is a UK company. They do basically everything that you can get from some of the Chinese printers except the foiled slipcases, which is something I do. So that limits me personally. But they do sprayed edges, they do foiled hardcovers, they do front and end pages, which I actually don't recommend through Book Vault. The way they've been doing them has had issues with the integrity of the book. So I personally have backed off from that. But as far as sprayed edges, foiling, and color internal formatted pages, because I like color chapter headings as well, Book Vault is fantastic.
Vault, I actually did get a special edition from them as well, just because I wanted to see what this book was actually going to look like and if the image I had in my mind was actually going to come together. And I only wanted to order 1 or 2 copies. And of course, going to China, when I priced the Chinese ones, you kind of have to buy like 100. So I did do it with Book Vault, and it was a little bit clunky to get it all uploaded and everything. But once I did, it arrived and I was very impressed. I was really worried that I'd done something and it wasn't going to look good. So I was, yeah, really, really happy when it came through. Wasn't happy that it cost me about 80 Australian dollars for one book.
Percent. But if you do a print run with China, a proof copy will cost you about 250 US. Yeah. So even though Book Vault is expensive for a single copy or even a couple of copies, there's nowhere else in the world where you can get those sort of special edition effects without buying 50 plus, calligraphics 50 plus sort of thing. With China, you really need 300 copies to make it financially viable. So when I order from Book Vault, I tend to order 20, 30 just to make the postage worthwhile. But for a print on demand special edition, they're a fantastic choice because they also drop ship. So if you're doing something like a Kickstarter, you can actually send those books directly to your people all over the world, and the postage is extremely reasonable for a single book. So they're fantastic like that. Yeah. But
okay, yeah,
that's Kickstarters rather than actual special editions. But I do like Book Vault. And they can be a little bit clunky when you're not used. I kind of find it easy, but also because I download all the templates and give them straight to my designers. So I really don't deal with any of the design elements. And if it doesn't work or doesn't fit, I just make my designers fix it. So yeah, I'm not good at that stuff.
Nice. Well, that actually does lead us into the cover designers. What sort of templates and covers do we actually need?
Okay, so it depends what you want. Okay, so this one actually is a okay. So gargoyle shifters. This is actually a Book Vault printed one. So with a foil design like this, you will need like okay, so if you're used to getting a print paperback PDF, it's very similar. You need the artwork of the hardback, so the artwork behind the foil in a single piece of artwork, and then you need the foil layer. The Book Vault will give you the template for it, and your cover artist really should know how to separate those two files. So that's all you need. You need 2 files for the outside. I get front and end pages done. So this is basically just 6x9 twice over. I actually create these. Oh, see how they're splitting? Anyway, I don't do front and end pages with Book Vault anymore, but with my Chinese printers, I do. The sprayed edges, as you can see there. With Book Vault, it's slightly different. They get you to do a single long piece of artwork like that. So it's sort of like the top, the middle, and the base. Like it's all one file, whereas with a Chinese printer, they'll give you like an A4, think of an A4 piece of paper, and then they've got like the top, the side, and the bottom in three different pieces of artwork. I personally find that much easier, especially when you've got a design like this, when I've got three different pieces of artwork. It's easier when it's just the one. But I got one that's got one. No, I don't. No, all of my spread edges are weird and different. So the sprayed edges, each printer will have a slightly different template. So you just got to work with them basically. And then obviously just the internal file. I always do color chapter headings, but that's just me because I like chapter, like chapter headings like that. So I always get color inside as well. And then I also do foiled slipcases like this.
Nice.
So this is another piece of artwork that needs to be done. But again, you get the template from the printer. So they'll give it to you and you give it straight to your cover artist and they'll design it for you.
Yeah. So the inside, we can still format it like on vellum or whatever formatting program you've got, whether it's, there's so many different types out there at the moment. So at least that's one less thing that we have to do completely different, like, except when you do the forced edges, which you actually do have to integrate into your interior.
Yes.
Which is another step.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
yeah. Oh, all I was going to say is that whenever I do special editions, I always do special internal formatting. I personally like doing color. I'll show you what my dragons look like. They're really pretty. As in what I personally always okay, so I'll show you what one of mine looks like. It's easier. Okay, so you've got a hardback that is foiled. This is books 1 to, this is actually 6 to 10, but I've got 1 to 5 back there as well. Foil, blurb. Okay, sprayed edges. So I do, because the series is called Fire and Ice, I've got like the snow here and then the flames there.
Love it.
I personally did family trees because there's 5 kings and they're 5 different kingdoms. So I did the family trees of all the 5 families, especially because this is book 6 to 10. So it's actually the second generation. So it's all the sons of the first 5 books. So that was fun because I just got the same family trees from books 1 to 5 and then just added all the kids on and the grandkids. So I personally always put in color, but you don't have to do color. I do the actual ebook cover inside because I just think, you've already got that artwork and it's really pretty. And then I do chapter headings like that. Like I'm not sure if you can see it really well, but it's sort of like a fantasy style thingy. I also do I do character art for each of the books. So I have 5 pieces of character art in that. With this one, I did. So my cover artist uses vellum. Sorry, not my cover artist. My formatter uses vellum. And this is 5 different books. So I basically got her to do, because it's the series is called Gargoyles of New York City. So it's sort of like it's the nighttime, New York, gargoyle wings, etc. And there's 5 different books and they've got 5 different colors just to delineate each of the books. So the first one's purple, second one's red, third one's green, etc., etc. So I have a lot of fun with my formatting, especially with omnibuses, because you can add so much extra stuff in. You don't have to. You could just pick a basic vellum black and white and just format it that way. But with a special edition, I do like to raise the stakes, make it color, make it special, delineate between the 5 or 4 or 3 different books if you're doing an omnibus, add in your extras just to actually make it a special edition distinct from your paperback.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. And it is interesting to think all these extra things that you can add in, even people have done extra scenes and those sorts of things as well. So there is a lot. With your character art and all your illustrations, is it just your designer who does that, or do you have multiple people that you kind of work with?
I have multiple people I work with. My actual cover artist that does most of my special editions, her name is Jess Blackbird Designs. She's on Facebook and she's awesome. And she's looking for more people. If anyone wants her details, just ask. She's fantastic. I've been working with her for a long time. She did all of my original just Dragon King ebooks. And when I decided to do a special edition for it, I just emailed her and said, do you do special editions? And she said, never tried before, but I am happy to try. Send me all the templates. And she's just amazing at it. And because she is, I suppose, younger and newer, and she's just willing to do and try anything for me, which is fantastic. So she's basically done 90% of my special editions for me. She does some of my ebook covers as well. I've never had her do any character art. Have different designers for that. One of them is an old ebook cover artist that I used to use for some of my series. She's really good at doing very reasonably priced for actual, hand done art for a lot of steamy scenes and not safe for work sort of artwork. And I have another someone that does my character cards and more not safe for work artwork. They do slightly different styles. So just depending on I'm really impatient. Most people will do one Kickstarter a year, one special edition a year, and they take time to plan it all out and get it all organized. Whereas I'm currently doing a Kickstarter and I think it's my 7th for the year this year.
Wow.
I'm like, who can I get? Who's available next week? Like, I want it now, done. Like, so for me, it's more about who's reasonably priced, who's available, whose work do I like. I'm actually venturing into a new genre. I'm not picking a new pen name, but it's the genre is called Cozy Omegaverse. So it's like me to a T. It is low angst, super sweet in like plot, but it's also super steamy, which is what I've always wanted, but no one let me. Everyone was like, no, you have to either be sweet and no sex, or you have to be steamy and dark and angsty. Like I couldn't have both. So I'm venturing into this new genre. So that meant I had to find someone who did different cover art, and the character art for that is almost cartoony, which I've never done before. So I'm going to have to find someone else to do that. So yeah, I like having lots of different people because of my pen names and all my different likes and wants. I do need lots of different artists around. How do I find them? I generally just I'm in lots of groups. I ask people. I see other Kickstarters with fantastic art that I like, and I contact the author and I ask them, who do you use? Are they open to new commissions? How much they cost? I just ask and I look and I try and yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. So when you're doing the special editions, will you only do those when you're doing it as a Kickstarter, or do you just order directly and get a whole bunch of stock that you'll sell later?
Okay, so I do it as a Kickstarter always first, because that's a great way to raise the money for a print run. So basically what I have found, it's very much a long-term plan. It's not profitable in the short term, but what I personally do is, okay, say, well, I'm trying to pick one. Oh, okay. I love this one. This is one of my reverse harems. This is the Paranormal Blood World series, and there's 3 guys, and one's a vampire, one's a dragon shifter, and one's a wolf shifter. So, and I'll show you the artwork so you can. That's the
gorgeous
Emily. So, okay. So for example, this Kickstarter raised 16,000 Australian dollars or something. And a print run, but I only sold maybe 50 of the actual special editions. I sold paperbacks and heaps of digital copies and all that, but I only sold about 50 of the actual special edition. But selling that 50 of these at Kickstarter prices was more than enough to pay for 300 for a print run.
Wow.
So I use my Kickstarter funds to fund a print run, and then I get all the extra copies, and then I sell those at 100% profit because they're already paid for.
Amazing. Okay, that's why you do kind of 7 a year.
Exactly. Although this is the first sort of year I've done that, but also obviously with the next Kickstarter, when I do say the Wicked Fae, I have this as an add-on at $110 each or whatever, and you'll have 4 or 5 people who buy this just separately again. And in the next one, you put both of them up as an add-on, and people who are backing this campaign will add them on, and you just make money with all the add-ons as you go.
So then they're printed in China, and they're shipped here to Australia, and then you put them out after that?
Okay, so this is more of a Kickstarter question, I suppose. But no, I don't mind. It's totally fine. But I was trying to work out how to answer it. I personally have a US VA, or assistant, I suppose. Yep. So all of my shipping runs are split 50-50. So if I have always basically printed 300. 200 is basically a similar price to Book Vault almost. So 300, it's much cheaper. The more books you buy, the cheaper it is per unit. So 300 is much more cost effective. So I'll send 50%, 150 to my US assistant, and 50% comes to me. She sends out all of the Kickstarters that go to the US and Canada, and I send the ones to Australia and the UK. Of, say, well, we just did it, of 55 backers that got special editions, 50 will be in the US and 5 will be in Australia.
Right.
So she is sending out the majority of the books, and also obviously all the add-ons as well. So she has to have a stockpile of all my past projects because she puts them all together. I'm very lucky. She's fantastic. And I accumulate all these extra books at my poor parents' house, because they're in the city and I am not. So they're accessible to Melbourne, and I take them to signings mostly. That's how I'm selling them. I'd love to sell them, directly, but as in on the direct store, and they are available there, but I don't sell many. So it's mostly for signings that I actually keep them.
So, a controversial question. Why or how do you think traditional publishing companies are getting sprayed edges on Amazon?
I know this because I
You know
actually, yes, I know this because I'm trying to do it myself. So basically I contacted Amazon about this because one of my cover artists, Laurie Grundy, she's beautiful. I love her. She's in the US, and she sent me a link to a sprayed edged book or special edition on Amazon and said, can you do this? Because can you sell it this way? And we can't, obviously, through the Amazon KDP dashboard. But what you actually have to do is create an Amazon seller account and sell it the same way they sell dog bowls, like in the actual Amazon account. And then you link the two together. Because when you're on the Amazon KDP dashboard, it says, hardback elsewhere, where you can create a hardback, but then it's also like link an existing hardback somewhere else.
Yes.
That's where you link it to the Amazon page on the other account. You know what I mean? So what they would be doing, I haven't done it yet because I had to set up some taxi stuff that I was trying to sort out because I have a company and blah, blah, blah. But I was trying to work out, how to actually link the two. So I think I've worked it out. But, and I think the way they do it you can either obviously just sell it and charge postage and do it that way, or they obviously recommend sending it to an Amazon warehouse, and then they'll do it through Amazon Prime and ship it out for you. So what I think these big publishers are doing is they're printing in China and they're sending those shipments of books to the Amazon Prime warehouses, selling them directly through the Amazon seller accounts, linking them to the book pages, and just sending them out like normal products.
Yeah, that makes sense. Right. And I definitely, having spent the last kind of 12 months watching people with Kickstarters and doing special editions, and it's always been in my too hard basket.
Just contact me. I love it. I help.
You were totally my go-to person. Yeah, I think looking at that, people, when you can buy all these sprayed edges for more or less the same price as you're buying plain paperbacks anyway, then if you're in the market for a paperback, you are going to buy the special edition before you buy, a plain non-foiled sprayed edge back book. So I really do think this is something authors should be getting into, because otherwise we just may get left behind.
I agree in lots of ways in that regard, which is why I don't actually use TikTok, but I love that people can use TikTok to sell products like that, because it's a way of, personally face-to-face selling things to your audience. And I've never really focused on paperbacks personally. I've always been very much ebook and audiobook focused, and just do the special editions for my obsession more than anything else. I love making a profit too, but I just have them to look at.
I am kind of feeling like I'm less of an author these days and more of like a cover designer, organizer person.
Yes.
But I'm still creative, so I'm still happy.
100%. I've got, I stalk I'm not a micromanager, but when it comes to my special edition weeks with Jess, I email her like, any draft? Do you want to send me something? I don't want to wait. Give me something. It's awesome. I love it. Yeah, I do agree that, fashion paperbacks are probably going to move out of the way for more special. Because if people are going to pay, if they're not an ebook reader and they want the paper, they want the actual book, why not have something special for a couple of extra dollars, basically?
Yeah. And we might end up with people they're already doing with audio and ebook, the whisper sync, being able to do both. So then they have a special edition there as well. Have you read this book? Yes, I've listened to it and I've read it on Kindle, but that one don't crack the spine.
Yes. But I am going to get on top of the Amazon seller account and be out try and sell them directly from Amazon. So if I work that out and it starts working, I'll let you know and we'll do another chat about it.
I am totally up for that. You do it first.
Yeah, to be honest, the only thing I'm actually worried about is running. I know this sounds ridiculous, sort of running out of books because I'm like, once if they just sell, I haven't got that many. Like I bought them for my Kickstarters. If suddenly it just does well, I'll be like, but it takes like 3 to 4 to 5 months to get them from China. Like it's not a fast process. So I'm a bit worried about actually, losing the stock that I held onto for my 10 signings that I've signed up for next year. It's the only reason I really haven't I go at things pretty hard. It's the only reason I haven't really pushed at it because I was like, what if I lose all my books? Like sell all my books. But I suppose there's worse problems than that, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I did see on socials the other day Kat T. Mason, who has Books Ever After down in Sydney, two of them down there now, and her bookshop only does special edition romance books, which I think is brilliant.
Yeah.
I just saw that she has her own sprayed edges machine now.
Good on her. Yeah, because that's the thing. A lot of people just want sprayed edges, even on just a normal paperback. Like at WoW in May, Amy Andrews did that for some of her paperbacks, and she sent her just normal paperbacks to Calligraphic, and they did the sprayed edges just on a normal. You can pay just to get sprayed edges done on normal paperbacks, and oh my God, it was so much cheaper than getting it from like Book Vault, etc. So if just fancy paperbacks are your thing, that is definitely the way to go. Like to order them from Ingram Spark, send them straight to Calligraphic, get them sprayed, and then sent back to you.
Yeah, so that's like the paperback versions that are sprayed as opposed to the hardback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just make them a bit more special.
Yeah. No, that is interesting. I wonder how much those sprayed edge machines cost. I'm sure she would make her money back. I am really surprised in doing the research that there really aren't any American companies because like you, I want to be able to sell in America and I have American authors. And I'm like, well, it doesn't really make sense to get them shipped to Australia to then shipped over there. But yeah, I think we found one between us that does it and it's got kind of mixed reviews about it.
The only one that I found was 48-hour books, if that's what you're talking about. From what I've heard, the quality is amazing, but it's just the price is not for a smaller. The problem is we want smaller amounts of books, smaller by traditionally published standards. We don't want 2,000, 5,000 books. We want 50. So the cost when you're having only 50 is just astronomical. Yeah, I actually did a little Kickstarter course through Wide for the Wind through Erin Wright, and I did a price comparison of Book Vault versus 48-hour books, and it was like double. Like it was $40 versus 80. Like it was and I was like, so going local isn't necessarily working. But I do think that has to do with the amount because it costs them so much to actually just set it up on the printer. So like with the Chinese printers, 200 versus 300 versus 500, 1,000, it's only like the price only goes up this much as you increase because it's not that much more for them once they've set up the initial costs of printing. It's like traditional manufacturing. Once they made the mold and everything, that was the expensive part. Printing 5,000 of them wasn't the issue. So it's the setup costs that are the expensive part.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I think I have picked your brain enough about special editions.
If it's all a bit funny, let me know.
We may have just completely confused the poor viewer, but I got a lot out of that, and I really appreciate your time and your honesty. And I am definitely looking forward to a part 2 when you figure out how to get this all on Amazon.
How to sell them on Amazon, yeah.
Because honestly, I think that will be a game changer for authors. And I really do think that there is such a income stream that authors can make from special editions, and I haven't really believed it until now, but I really do. Going into it and going ahead with my own book signing, which would have been by the time this is Ed. So I'm really excited to see your special editions at Sunshine Coast Fiction Festival and, of
You'll
course,
see
all
it.
the other book signings next year. Thank you so much. Where can people go and buy your leftovers or join your Kickstarters and those sorts of things from you?
Goodness, where can they buy them? Well, all my special editions are basically on my direct selling website, which is harleyromancepublishing.com, I think, or just harleyromance.com. I can't remember. I've got to, I pay people to do all that stuff. I'm not techie. Otherwise, all my Kickstarters have, which is under Amelia Shaw, have them as add-ons. So you can, or you can just DM me on Facebook. It really, I can send anyone anything. Catherine Bilson messaged me the other day telling me to send her a whole lot of my special editions because she's beautiful. So yeah, you can always ask. Just message me, basically.
Today's conversation wasn't just inspiring, it was packed with practical takeaways. We talked about what really goes into special editions: foil stamping, sprayed edges, custom character art, coloured interior files, and so much more. This isn't just about making your book look prettier. It's about creating an experience your readers want to invest in. And as Fiona shared, this can be a whole new income stream, one that's not just creatively fulfilling, but financially smart, especially if you take the time to shop around and find the right partners. So if this idea has been sitting on the back burner, maybe it's time to pull it forward. There's space for you in this market, and your readers are ready for more than just another paperback. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'll see you next week.